only Christmas tree worth having this year is the Tree of Evolutionary Life, now in its limited edition winter form. Grab this limited time poster now while you can. It depicts every single Pokemon and how they'll be related to each other, including the all-new Melmetal. Using the links below, grab one for yourself or for a friend.
Hello, Pokemon Masters, Birdkeeper Toby here, and the Pokedex. That's what the adventure's really about, isn't it? Going around and registering every possible Pokemon. Gotta catch them all, that was the original catchphrase. But sometimes completing the Pokedex isn't enough of a challenge. In fact, many of you will be familiar with the fact that last August, that's August 2017, I set myself a challenge to complete the Pokedex, but using the most ridiculous means necessary. Like setting myself a number of challenges along the way. This Pokedex completion was called the Master Dex, and it was gonna require me to capture every single Pokemon form, every gender variant, or any kind of special Pokemon. The only Pokemon that were really exempt from this challenge is one of every Spinder form, because there is over 8 million of those. Like, I'm pretty sure I don't think I could buy enough cartridges to store them on. And one of every shiny Pokemon, which is a challenge that some people do, a shiny living dex. To anyone out there doing that, I commend you, but this is a different kind of challenge. Because the challenge wasn't just about getting one of each of these Pokemon, it was about how you got one of each of these Pokemon. In fact, if you want to link to the video where I explain the rules, it is linked below. There is also a link to the Discord chat. There is a whole community of people who have been going for this challenge. I've been speaking to some of you on Twitter. Other people have completed it as well. And I set myself a year, from that August to this August that's just passed, to complete the challenge. And I did it. I did it by March. I have completed what I believe to be the most complicated, most complete Pokedex challenge ever. And so I kind of wanted to share with you what my Pokedex kind of looks like, as well as, of course, giving you some hints and tricks to if you are going to attempt this challenge. And for those of you wondering, will there be an update to this challenge in Let's Go? No, not well, kind of. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are going to be separate to the games that we have so far. We don't know if there's any Pokebank connectivity, but there will be a Master Dex challenge for Let's Go, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on in another video. Anyway, here it is, the most complete Pokedex ever. So here we go. As you can see, I have one of every single Pokemon filling that box. And the first thing that you'll notice when I come down to these Pokemon is that this Bulbasaur has a little Game Boy icon. That icon means that, and as you can see, it seems to be met for the first time in the Kanto region, that these Pokemon have come from Virtual Console Red, Blue, or Yellow. That was the whole name of the game. The first 151 Pokemon have to come from Kanto, although there is a little cheat. Some of the Pokemon, like say this Tauros for example, it says that it came from Kanto, but I actually caught it in Johto. I caught it on Virtual Console Gold, Silver, Crystal, because it's really hard to get in Yellow. So what I did is I caught it there and used the time machine in Virtual Console Gold, Silver, Crystal to transfer it to Red, Blue, or Yellow before I put it on Pokemon Bank. There are some exceptions, of course. There's this Jigglypuff and there is a Clefairy, and they say that they have come from the Johto region. And that is because I got them on the Pokewalker, specifically on the Night Times Edge course. The Night Times Edge course can only be unlocked if you have a Jirachi on your Pokewalker, which you can only get from Pokemon Channel, or the Colosseum bonus disc if you're in America, I believe. Another Pokemon worth noting here is this Pikachu. This Pikachu has Volt Tackle, and you can see it came from the Sinnoh region. That's because it actually came from Pokemon Battle Revolution, which is a Nintendo Wii game. You only get that if you complete the game, so again, it's just another Pokemon that's super hard to get hold of. The whole point of this challenge was to get Pokemon that are really tough to get hold of. That's kind of also the case with Dragonite. It says here it seems to have had a fateful encounter in a distant land. That's because it's the Dragonite that you get from Pokemon Gale of Darkness, which is like the last Pokemon you can get in Gale of Darkness along with Lugia. The Mew is just a standard event Mew. Mythical Pokemon, most of them don't have to come from anywhere specific, but just because mythical Pokemon are usually event only. So now we're on to Johto Pokemon, and of course Johto Pokemon must come from Virtual Console Gold, Silver, Crystal. And actually, speaking of these Virtual Console Pokemon, I will say the hardest ones to get hold of are Virtual Console Porygon. Getting that from Virtual Console Yellow is so annoying because you have to get 9,999 coins in the game corner, which is ridiculous. Oh, and of course what I had to do with the Porygon was then trade them over to Gold, Silver, Crystal so I could hatch an egg to get a Porygon 2 and then trade the original one back. It was a whole shabacle. But actually, the legendary beasts Raikou, Entei, and Suicune are the absolute hardest to get on Virtual Console Gold, Silver, Crystal because they flee and they have roar and they're just a nightmare. We've got our Lugia from Gale of Darkness and our Ho-Oh from Pokemon Colosseum, the GameCube games. These are the final Pokemon you can get in the game. Celebi is from Virtual Console Crystal. Now we're onto the Ho-Oh Pokemon, and all of these have come from, they didn't need to come specifically from Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. They could have come from Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I just like that they've got the little pentagon mark next to it, indicating that they came from Generation 6. The only exceptions to that is there is Feebas. I believe that Feebas is harder to obtain in the original Ruby Sapphire Emerald, so if you get it there, it's like bonus points. And actually, there's another Pokemon here, Glalie. This Glalie came from the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire demo, so bonus points. There is the Jirachi that I was talking about from Pokemon Channel. You can see it says OT Channel. Deoxys, that has come from Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in the post-game, the Delta episode. As we move into Sinnoh, we start to see some interesting things. I decided it would be cool if Roserade, Ambipom, Mismagius, Honchkrow, any Pokemon that had a previous evolution, if it came from that region. So Roserade, for example, comes from Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire instead of Sinnoh, Diamond Pearl Platinum, where the rest of the Sinnoh Pokemon have all come from. So Ambipom there, this is an Ambipom from Virtual Console because it's come from Virtual Console Gold Silver, which is really cool. It's especially cool when you get into the later part of the Pokedex where you have like Weavile, Magnezone, Licky, Rhyperior, all from Virtual Console. Electivire and Magmortar are not because they come from Pokemon Battle Revolution. Again, they're sort of a secret hidden thing in the game. I really wanted to include as many side games as possible. Oh, and I will tell you, Rotom was a pain from this generation because in Generation 4 you only get one Rotom, and so I had to do a whole bunch of trading to try and get other Gen 4 Rotoms for the forms later on. Also, Spiritomb from the Sinnoh Underground. It's such a fun challenge. Grab a friend and just do it, and it's a ton of fun. And here is the Manaphy from Pokemon Ranger. Many of you watched me on streams getting this. The only way that this can say that it came from the Sinnoh region is if I got it from Pokemon Ranger. So many people saw me on stream get this. I'm so happy about it. And of course, I bred it in Sinnoh to get Fione. The Dialga and Palkia actually are not from Sinnoh. You can see they're in Dream Balls. That's because they're from the Dream Radar game. They're bonus Pokemon that you can get there. I think it's the same with the Giratina. Yeah, it is. Anyway, we move on to Unova, where pretty much everything is from Black and White, and Black and White 2. The main pain to get hold of in this generation is Zora and Zoroark, because you can only get one Zorua. I think it's in Black and White 2, and it's ends one, so you have to like breed it to get extra for Zoroark. Everything else in Gen 5 is actually pretty easy to get hold of. The Therian forms are kind of annoying. These ones also from the Dream World. You can see they've got the Dream Balls right there. The Greninja, not from Kalos. Within the whole next generation, of course, it's from X and Y, but not Greninja. That is from the Alola region. It's because it's come from the Sun and Moon demo. So that's the one with the Battle Bond ability. All your Kalos Pokemon. Oh, and Eeveelutions, of course, they've all come from Virtual Console Kanto, unless it's Espeon and Umbreon. They've come from Johto. So you can see this Sylveon has come from Kanto. We move on to Alola, and of course, everything is from Sun and Moon. There's nothing particularly hard to get out from here. I think type Null and Silvally was kind of annoying. The only thing that you'll see missing here is Poipole, Naganadel, Stakataka, and Blacephalon. I do have them. They are in my Pokebank, but they are not my capture card footage that you are seeing because that is in a copy of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. So now we're onto the forms. We've got all the unknown forms, and as you can see, they've got the Game Boy logos next to them. That is because they have all come from Virtual Console Gold and Silver, apart from the unknown, which have come from Fire Red and Leaf Green. As you can see, they say that they've come from Kanto. Only way they could say that is if they've come from Fire Red and Leaf Green. I was very kindly traded these by my friend Marty. They're actually really hard to get hold of, otherwise you have to like complete the game. The Ash Hat Pikachu, we've got all the different Deoxys forms, all from Hoenn. All the Burmy, Wormadam, Gastrodon, Shellos, and Rotom forms, all from Sinnoh. 2 forms here for the Shaman, but it seems that Shaman does refer forms. Those were given, some of them were traded and gifted to me. Basculin from Unova, and all the different dealings from Unova. One of each of the Forces of Natures in their various forms, all that kind of stuff. So even if I've got an original form as part of the Living Dex, these are extra ones to kind of show off the form variety, like the 2 Keldeos I've got. All the Vivillon patterns, Floette, Flabby, and Flogorges, I can never pronounce that Pokemon's names. I've got enough Furfrou here to cover all of the different variants of it, but again, it doesn't seem to retain its form in Pokebank, and we've got all of the Gorgeist and Pumpkaboo forms. The Zygardes, the Hoopers, the Oricorios, the Lycanrocs. Of course, we're missing one because that exists only in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but I do have it. All the different Minior forms, and then we've got our Alolan forms along with their original counterparts. Their original counterparts have all come from Kanto, not necessarily Virtual Console Kanto, just any Kanto. But you can see how I've got it organized with the original form and then the Alolan form. And then we also have some of the, what are they called? Totem Pokemon. I don't have them all here because they weren't all available in Sun and Moon. Some of them only came available in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so I'm not allowed to have them in this game. Again, I do own them. I've got the Surfing Pikachu, the Pikachu that knows Surf from Alola. And then we've got all the gender variants. Again, all from their native region. So all the Kanto ones are from Kanto, all the Johto ones from Johto, Hoenn from Hoenn. Torchic is such an annoying one to get hold of because you need gender variants for all the different evolutionary stages. And Torchic is 70% of the time only male, like all the starter Pokemon. So that is very infuriating. All the Sinnoh Pokemon, of course, from Sinnoh. You know, Pokemon like female Combi, they are annoying to get hold of. All of the Unovan Pokemon from Unova, and then as we get to Kalos, there's very few gender variants, and then in Alola there are none. And then finally, on the final page, we have an extra Manaphy from Pokemon Ranger, an extra Fione from Generation 4 bred there, an extra My Channel Jirachi, some event Pokemon, including the Ash Hat Pikachus and the Vivillon forms, and some Latios and Latias that have come from the Southern Islands in the original Ruby and Sapphire. In order to get there, you had to have the Eon ticket. My friends Joe and Marty, Joe who runs Cerebi.net, they lent me their e-reader and Eon ticket so that I could go and get these incredible Pokemon. It's like a piece of Pokemon history. I just really love them. And a Japanese Steelix from the Japanese Oras demo, although I'm not sure if I need it anymore. Although I've sort of not put it in with the rest of the Pokedex because I've heard that they may have deleted the Oras demo in Japan. But anyway, just a whole bunch of other kind of rare Pokemon. And anyway, that is it. That is my complete Pokemon Master Dex. I do intend on doing a similar challenge for Let's Go that's going to focus on just the first 151 Pokemon. I will probably make a video about that a little bit closer to the time that Let's Go actually comes out. But yeah, that challenge occupied a lot of my time. The only thing I could really do to improve it at this point is there are some extended challenges, getting everything in its shiny form, getting Wynaut specifically from Mirage Island in Ruby Sapphire Emerald, which is like, you need to have a working internal battery to get the in-game clock working, which allows Mirage Island to appear like rarer than a shiny Pokemon. So you'd have to check in like once every day for like 4 years to see if it appears. So that's an option. I have put in the rules that if you get 2 matching Spinder, that's worth like mega bonus points. And if you have a Japanese GameCube and Colosseum and the e-reader and all the relevant cards, then getting Shadow, Scizor and that stuff from Pokemon Colosseum. There are some really obscure Pokemon out there. But for the most part, I am done with the base challenge. I am done with everything else, and I did it well within the year. And I wanted to update you on my progress, show you that, hey, I did it. It seemed like an impossible feat. I thought at the time, what am I getting myself into? If you'd like to do this challenge, it's like the most complete Pokedex that you can possibly get at this point, other than like a living shiny dex in there as well. And this challenge forces you to play nearly every single Pokemon game and side game. It has been one of my favorite things to do, and I'm looking forward to a more calmed down version with Let's Go. If you've been partaking in the challenge, of course, you can leave me a comment telling me about that. If you're new to it, again, there's a link below to what all the specific rules are, or you can join the Discord where people are talking about it all the time. And yeah, I'm pretty sure if Professor Oak saw my Pokedex, he'd be pretty satisfied. So hi, Pokemon Masters.
A massive shout out goes to my incredible patrons, many of who you can see the name of on screen now. Most of all to the big patrons of the month, Yoni, Sobin, and Xavis. If you want to find out how you can support the channel, please check out the links to Patreon in the description below and get some of those sweet, sweet perks. Thank you.